Everybody, welcome to episode 1 of the Battle of the Barbers podcast. My name is Jesse James, and I'm in the chair with my co-host.
aka Trippy Barber.
How's it going today?
It's going pretty well. Just, out here hanging out with Jesse, looking at some venues for some good news for Battle of the Barbers.
That's right. So how has the process been so far so October 20th was your first time in a different role at the battles. Obviously, you've been tearing up the Barber Battle Circuits, 8 trophies so far. She's been competing for 17 months now. How was it getting a different view of the battles?
It was definitely different because you can finally really see what you're getting judged off of, which is something that I wasn't quite sure. And it's a little bit more than most people realize, because a lot of people think it's just a good haircut, but everyone there does great haircuts. So just to judge off of first, second, and third off of all these great haircuts, you really got to come down to all the details that a lot of barbers don't realize.
So you were a judge. This was your first time judging, right?
Yeah, it was.
First time judging was October 20th. So now in your new role as project manager, how do you see that, and what value can you bring to Battle of the Barbers?
I just want to bring out a little bit more organization. I want to, have things a little bit more of a timely manner.
How was your first class at the battle?
It was actually pretty good. More people than I thought showed up to the class, so it was nice to see all that support.
Nice. So we've been looking at venues for the last 2 weeks. We don't have the date set yet.
No.
The venue, we're about what? How far along on the venue are we? We got one more to look at?
I believe so. Yes, we do.
I mean, I say we always got the Freight House Square, right?
Yeah, but next level stuff is always
next level stuff. But we do love everything that the Freight House kind of was the launching point for Battle of the Barbers. So we definitely such a great venue for anybody who's trying to do events. It's a great starting point.
Yeah, but as a Barber Battle grows, so does everything around it. So I feel like as nice as Fright House was, to start off, I feel like, bringing in something new, something that no one's seen yet is definitely the way to go for sure.
Yes, these venues we've been looking at are definitely next level. They're definitely really nice. Our new project manager has some really high tastes. So bringing in some organization to the Barber Battle, which definitely it does need. We had 332 people at the last Barber Battle. It was my second battle quarterbacking it. But it was our first battle with me, you, and Sling and Scissors running the show. How did you feel about the end result of it?
I feel like although we were a little bit off time, I feel like, and that's where, I'm glad that, we'll finally have somebody to, keep track of, being on time. But I feel like that's pretty much what we mostly needed to work on, is just being on time, for sure. Also, the bit of technical difficulties that we had. But, I think we did really great. Sarah mentioned that she said that this was the least biased battle that she's judged by far. So it was nice to hear that for sure.
Mm-hmm. And even, we did get out of there at 9 o'clock. We had 9 categories, which was definitely a lot of categories. So even as unorganized as it was, and it was unorganized, I still think getting out of there at 9 o'clock, I don't think we were the latest battle to end this year.
No, I don't think so.
Definitely I think we're gonna drop it down to 6 categories. So I know I'm planning on, with 6 categories will be more full categories. The prizes should be getting better. We're working on some prizes.
We are going to let people know, aren't we, about what we're looking for in each category for sure, because I feel like since there was a lot of new barbers competing in this last one, tons of new barbers actually, I feel like a lot of people were a bit confused as to what we're even looking for. So I feel like that's something that we're going to definitely bring out is let people know a bit of what we're looking for.
We'll have all the info for on the categories, what the judges are looking for on the Eventbrite page. It'll also be on the Facebook Battle of the Barbers page, as well as the website that's coming out soon. So we're definitely stepping our game up. And then back to the first battle that I threw, which was in December 2nd, 2018. People who went to both battles, there's probably about 110 to 115 people there. It was a free battle. Everything was free, cash prizes. And then to go from that in December to October to having 332 people with a paid battle, I think the growth was exceptional. They were still both unorganized, so that's where I hope that bringing on our new project manager is definitely going to clean it up. But getting the people there, the excitement there, I feel like we've definitely captured that part of it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And you are still competing. You're still competing around the state?
Yeah, so I won't be competing, obviously, at the Battle of the Barbers because I will be helping out. But definitely will be trying to compete at all other battles for sure.
Still going to be racking up some trophies. And also, I wanted to touch base. Trippy Barber did win second place at the Las Vegas Barber Expo, which is the second biggest barber battle in the country. How was that experience?
It was actually amazing experience. I would say that's the very first time I didn't actually get anxiety before going up there. But I did start getting anxiety as soon as I opened up my briefcase and saw that I was missing guards for my clippers. So I didn't even use guards. I did my haircut with no guards.
Yeah, so you did a clipper over comb.
Yeah, clipper over comb.
Bald taper?
Nope, it was a fade.
It was a fade?
Yeah.
Skin fade, old school style. Pulled out second place.
Yep.
Were you surprised?
I really was surprised because I honestly thought I couldn't do it without guards. But, I mean, as you can see, that it's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
I was just up there the whole time saying, I just want to get off stage. There's no point in being up here. This was just a waste of my time. I was really upset. And my husband's just like, nope, we're already here. You're going to go through it. Don't even worry about it.
So do you think the not having anxiety until you opened up your clippers, do you think that's, because it's obviously the biggest stage you've ever been on.
That too.
Do you think that's from experience, from doing it?
Yeah, I think it's just that I've been doing it so often that I've been getting a lot more comfortable going to the barber battles.
Because there was a stretch early on in your career, because you took third place at your first battle.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trill Cuts for getting that one going.
All right.
And so you took third in that one, but then you kind of went on a little losing streak for a while. You lost in Portland.
I did.
Lost in Spokane.
Yes.
You lost, what was after that one? That would have been October. Where you?
It was...
No, Freight House, you won the Halloween one.
Oh, yeah.
Then you lost in the barber categories. We'll stick to the barber categories.
Yeah.
What was after that?
It was yours.
Okay, so you lost a couple, and then the December battle came.
Yeah, but yours, I got first place.
Okay, so that's when you kind of rolled off some victories.
Yeah.
So it took a while, though, is my point. A lot of people don't come in and win on their first time.
No, and I know there's a lot of barbers out there that place, every time they go, which is great, but I just feel like, to me, it doesn't really matter if I place or not. I just like doing it, to be honest.
You just like doing it. So that was going to be my next question. What would you say? Because we have a lot of new people on the Battle of the Barbers. At least at this one, we had a lot of first-time barbers. What would you say to the people who didn't place?
I would say,
who maybe are like, this isn't worth it, why did I come?
I mean, everyone has their own opinion. My opinion, personally, I just had fun doing it, and I just do it for the fun. I don't know what other reason why someone would want to do it, because you can't expect to win all the time. There's always going to be some losses, and then there's going to be wins around there, but it should all be for fun. I mean, the whole point of a barber battle is to network and meet people and to showcase your skills with a bit of competition, but I mean, other than that, it shouldn't really matter.
Yeah, and so let's try to get specific on monetary, why they should battle. So I mean, a lot of your, for one, going away from the money, but we'll get back to the money. Most of your networking opportunities have all come from the barber battles.
Yes, they have.
I mean, you're about to be an instructor. You're a project manager at Battle of the Barbers. You and Sarah are doing classes together. That looks like a really good 1-2 punch there. So to the monetary side, what were you charging before you went to your first Battle of the Barbers?
I was charging $18.
$18. And what are you charging on Wednesday, starting Wednesday when your shop reopens?
I'm going to be charging $35.
$35. And you're fully booked.
Yes.
And your customers love your trophies.
Yes, they do.
Do they like bragging about you?
Yeah, they do. They actually always tell like their friends. They're like, "Oh, go to her. She's won a lot of trophies," and that convinces some people for sure, But
I can see a lot of customers because they love their barbers so much,
Yeah.
arguing about which barber's better.
Oh,
and
of course.
Your customers have some trophies to prove it.
Yeah,
Give them some ammunition.
definitely helps. Trophies definitely help, but I just feel like it's definitely a plus, to win, but it's not necessarily something that you have to have because you got to think beyond that. Like my goal right now is to potentially be sponsored, be brought out to do more interviews, be brought out to do more classes. Like I'm not trying to be at the shop all day, every day working. So this is doing battles and networking. It's beyond just winning. So it's
You want to be a barber influencer.
yeah.
100%. And one thing we didn't mention was collabs. I mean, you collabed with you collabed with Sammy Too Fresh out there on the water, very majestic.
Yeah. Wow.
But like that's what the battles are all about.
Yeah. It's just bringing people together for sure.
And doing work together
Yeah.
too. Work that benefits both. I mean, I don't understand why people still aren't investing more into the content side of the battles. Why don't people have their camera crews ready? Why don't people have their photography? I know it's expensive, but I mean, I feel like if 3 or 4 barbers teamed up and hired one person together, like they can come up with something dope. They can, you know what I mean? Like there's some cool things that can come out.
That plays a whole part of just networking and wanting to be a part of something. I feel like we got to show people how to come together, and I mean that's the whole point of barber battles, I believe, is to show people how to come together and how to network in the sense where it can benefit everybody. So we're out here showing them that we can work as a team and get things done for sure.
100%. You're nailing it. Love the content side. You have any other advice? Advice? Any big things coming up?
Well, I mean, big things coming up.
I mean, your shop is looking beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very next level. I can definitely see a lot of barbers moving in that direction. I know I'm planning on redoing my shops and my school. So thank you for that inspiration.
I just feel like we gotta, if we're gonna charge, a certain price, we definitely gotta include everything in it. We gotta include customer service. We gotta include the comfort of the surroundings of your customer. We gotta include, the service itself. Like we gotta have the whole package. Like if you want to charge a lot, you gotta bring something to the table. You can't just, settle for like, oh well, I don't have to change my attitude. My cuts speak for itself, and it's there's some things that sometimes we gotta get our minds out of and really change ourselves so that our business can grow. We gotta stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking about the business, because for a business to grow, we gotta change our mentality.
So 17 months ago, could you picture yourself charging $35 a haircut?
Honestly, no, not at all. I honestly, even when I raised my prices to 23 from 18, I honestly felt pretty hesitant.
Were you nervous?
I was really nervous, and
did you lose a lot of customers when you did it?
I see this is a thing that a lot of barbers are always afraid to lose customers when they raise their prices, but little do they realize is that they're opening up space for more customers.
Yeah. So you lose 20%, maybe? What would you put a number on what you lost?
Okay, so I would say, yeah, about 20% customers.
But you raised it
You know, like
33%. Your price? What's
so.
that
Previously,
math?
my price.
Was 18. And then you went to 23.
Yeah, so that was like $5. So I'm not quite sure the percentage on that, but
It's over 25%.
so when you lose, 20% of your customers and you're raising your prices, around the same percentage, you're still making the same as if you were booked all day, maybe at 18. So after that point of losing those 20, you're still making the same, but once you start getting those new customers in, that's that extra. That's what you're making more now.
What I like that doesn't get talked about is, yes, you're making the same amount of money, but a lot of barbers who might want to be barber influencers like you, but they always say they don't have the time, they're booked up. So when you lose 20% of your customers, but you're making the same amount of money, you just opened yourself up for 20% of the time that could go towards posting. It could go towards networking.
Yeah.
It could go towards editing your pictures,
But
podcasting.
There's another thing that works a lot is so right now I'm working by myself at my own shop, and I was letting the business take over me instead of me taking over the business. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm cutting down my hours and raising up my prices for the same reason, for me to have more time to do the things that I have to do. So sometimes you just gotta raise your prices. If you need more time to do stuff, raise your prices. You can have more time and cut your hours.
And don't waste that time that you're getting back.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
she's got more time, but she just did a podcast a couple days ago. She's now sitting down with me. Like, she's out here working. But the time thing, when people, but also, what I heard you say on the, what was that podcast? The
Tip of the touch.
Tip of the touch. Oh, you did some good work there. What I like that you said on there was that's why you went from walk-ins to appointments, was because you would have walk-ins coming in at 6:30 and you're closing at 7, but then you'd end up having to stay till 8:30, and that was taking time away from your kids, your husband, your family life, and that's what you didn't like about it.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if you wouldn't have raised your prices from 18 to 23 and then raised them again to 28, you wouldn't have time to sit down and do a podcast. You wouldn't have time to come to instructor school and get the instructor's license.
Not at all.
I would like to hear your 5 years is a little too much of a question. Like, where do you see your 5 years? But what's your big goal? I know you want to be a barber influencer. I know your hero is Rob the Original. I hate asking questions that I already know the answers to. But what is your big time goal besides being an influencer?
I want to have my own barber school eventually.
Trippy Academy.
Something like that. But
That would
yeah,
be cool.
definitely that's what I see in my future, is having a school for sure. Teaching people a little bit more beyond even just being a barber. Definitely how to run your own business, how to, like, let's say if I'm already to the point of where I want to be an influencer, like if I'm already there, I want to open up my school. That way I could even guide people to where they want to be. Like, if you want to own your shop, guide them there. If they want to be an influencer, guide them there. Like, I want to be what other barbers want to be. That way I know how to guide them to get there.
And there's a million ways to do it too, and that's and not one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
Not one size fits all, that's for sure. No, the school's a great business. Great business. It really is rewarding too, and you would be really good at it. What are we going to next? But and it's really what you want to do. I mean, some barbers are like, why would somebody pay $35 for a fade? You know?
And I get a lot of people, ask that. I've had a lot of people just tell me, like, yeah, I stopped going to you because you just got expensive. And I'm just like, that's okay. There's plenty of other barbershops out there that are affordable. But, I'm just I'm really giving a lot more service to quality, and then just giving more of a service to the people. I'm giving more of a comfort. When you walk into my shop, like how it's set up now with the new remodel, like you walk in there and like I've had a few people walk in already, and they're like, wow, like this feels like a house. Like this feels like my
Homemade,
house.
cozy.
Yeah. You know, I got like a nice little like fireplace thing going on, and I got some couches. Like people walk in and they feel comfortable. They feel like at home. Like I'm bringing that, you know, to them.
I think what you're doing is really important, and I heard you say this again. I'm kind of piggybacking off that podcast a little bit, but you said one of your biggest challenges in the industry is being a woman. But I think the fact that you're having so much success with the Maine Barber Society, with all the videos and collabs, all the trophies, project managing at Battle of the Barbers, when other women who are barbers see that, it's really important to them. Like that's why. It's so huge what you're doing, because there's probably so many lady barbers who feel the same way, that being in a men's industry, well, used to be a men's industry. I don't call it a men's industry.
Sure. I just feel like a lot of women are feeling still a little intimidated, maybe. I definitely was getting into this. Women definitely have to work twice as hard to prove themselves, I believe. Because even now, like I still get underestimated. I'll probably always get underestimated, but I mean, you know, I just feel like, you know, to the women out there in the barber industry, to not be afraid to just take what they want. Every opportunity that presents itself, just go for it. Like don't even question it. Like just do it. Like do it.
Yeah. Get uncomfortable a little bit.
Yeah.
100%.
You have no idea how many times I've been uncomfortable, like
in the last 16 months.
Things. Because I mean, opportunity. Like a lot of people feel like, oh, it's because I didn't work for that opportunity. It's like, what do you mean? Like, what have you been doing? Like, is everything you've been doing not been work? It has. When an opportunity presents itself to you, it's because you've done something for that opportunity to come to you. Maybe it was easy work that you did to get that, but it was work done. So I would just, you know, whatever comes your way, take it. You know, because once you start like not taking things when it presents themselves, then you're going to start complaining why things aren't coming your way. It's because the little things that were coming your way, you didn't take it.
100%. Well, it's been very impressive watching your evolution over the last 17 months, doing a lot of things for the first time, you know, so I think it's inspiring. I think there's a ton of barbers out there who are watching you, who are taking notes, as they should. You got where tell the folks where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram, Trippy Barber, or, you know, you can come by at my shop anytime, Everett, 7318 Evergreen Way.
Thank my co-host Milka Ramos for being on the show today. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 1 of the Battle of the Barbers podcast.
We have a lot of exciting things coming your way, so please keep on the lookout for that.